Okay, we are going to demonstrate a very simple recipe that can be altered according to what you have left over. I'll just give you some general guidelines. It's of course going to be featuring our favorite top ramen. Seems like a lot of people like the beef flavor, so it really doesn't matter because I'm not going to use the stupid package. But the noodles, yeah, we're going to need ramen noodles, depending on how much you want to make. I think I'm going to use about 3 packages. We're going to need garlic. This is, I mean, if you're going to the trouble, I mean, well, it's not trouble, but if you're, well, if you have to eat ramen, I mean, you might as well make it as healthy as you can. So we're gonna use some garlic, but I prefer to use raw garlic. And there's a neat way we're gonna do this. I'll show you in a little bit how we can cut this. And well, anyway, I'll show you. We also are going to use some black pepper. I like the kind of little grinder, and some paprika, smoked paprika. We're going to need butter, and don't try to use margarine. It doesn't work. We're just going to use butter. Now, leftover tomato soup. We're lucky enough to have some leftover ragu. We're not going to use a lot of tomato paste or tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce, just a little bit. So this is good. If you don't have anything else, you can use some ketchup packets, but it's not the same. Okay. We got to put a little bit of basil in here. We're going to be using pepperoni, and we're also going to be using peppers. Now, you can use, I like to really use serrano peppers, but sometimes we put jalapeno. But today I'm going to make it so it's a little bit more mild. Sometimes we'll use jalapenos and serrano and maybe just a little bit of vinegar. But we're going to skip the vinegar today, and we're going to use a more mild pepper. Actually, something that's called a peppercini. So we're lucky enough to have some, like, they're little salad peppers. And if you don't have anything around the house, it's pretty easy to get them at a buffet or something, So anyway, that's pretty much our ingredients. And we're going to need a skillet, a saucepan, and that's about it. And that will be one version of WIZPOW ramen. Okay, what we want to do is we're going to take the ramen and we break it in half, and we're going to take it and just break it in small pieces here, so you can see what we're doing. It's very tiny. Make sure you wash your hands, please. I remember one time I was watching this YouTube video on ramen, and this guy was like using this nasty ass pan. Anyway, we're gonna break this up real small like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to break this up so it's very small, and we're going to basically steam it, not quite boil it, just soften it a little bit. Okay, we're also going to take pepperoni, and we can use the amount that you want to use. It really depends on how much you like pepperoni. I don't really like to use too much. I don't like to ruin it with it, but a little bit. And here, the neat way to do the pepperoni is you want to use actually some scissors, just some nice scissors. And what we're going to do is just take a lot of the pepperoni, and we're just going to cut it into small pieces with the scissors. Just kind of shred it like that. Just shred it up, and you can see as we're going to shred that up, and we're not going to use that till later, but we're going to use it a little bit with the butter. Okay, a neat way with the garlic, we're going to use this whole garlic, but instead of peeling it right away, what we're going to do, since it's very large, we're going to take our large knife here, and we're just going to cut it, but we're not going to cut it all the way through. We're just going to kind of go across its grain and cut some chunks. And when we do this, we'll see that the skin will actually come off when we cut it. So it's a neat way to do it. I don't know how proper. I guess I apologize to all the chefs and cooks out there, but this is one way that I like to do it, and crush it like that, and then take the skin off, and we're going to chop that down pretty fine. We're going to actually dice some raw garlic. That by itself is going to give it a little spice. Okay, so basically we prepared about 4 or 5 large cloves of garlic and chopped those down. We're going to take the little pepperoni
chilies, the peppers, like salad peppers, and do the same thing. We just want to chop them in little slices here, and they're full of a lot of vinegar and not real spicy. So we kind of want to use that, and we're going to mix all of that together with the garlic, and then we're going to sprinkle the basil on there and paprika, and we're going to use this to actually kind of warm in butter, and we're going to use that after we finish softening these ramen noodles. So let's take a look at those ramen noodles and see. I'm going to put quite a bit of this ground pepper. And our paprika, dash of that in there. And basil. Look at that. And we'll let that soak in its own juices for a while. And then we're just going to add this to the pepperoni that we shredded here. Add all of this to that. And we're just going to let all of that mix in its own juices here. That is for now. Our water is not boiling rapidly. It's just starting to boil, where you just see those little bubbles that start, and that's when we're going to put all the broken down ramen in here. And we want to use a lid because the lid will intensify the heat, and this won't take long. From here, maybe a minute, maybe 2. We don't want to get it completely cooked. We just want to get it nice and soft. Then we're going to drain all the water off and rinse it, which has a lot of the starch. After the ramen's done, we're just going to add some cool water onto these noodles. And we're just going to stir these around in the water. And basically take some of the starch off of the noodle. They're soft now. You know, like I said, you don't want to overcook them. You don't want to cook them until they're just, like, some people call them done, but when they're mush, just mush, to me, that's not very good. And I'll just drain some of that out, and that will be good. Now the ramen into a bowl, and I want to continue to get some of the excess moisture off. I don't want a whole lot of moisture. There, now we have yet another ingredient that we're going to use. Now it's time for our butter, and what we're going to do is take a warm pan, and just a little bit of butter. We can always add more. And the butter is actually, when the butter melts, we're going to add in that mixture with the peppers and pepperoni and basil. And the pepperoni has a lot of its own oil, and it's going to mix with this butter. So once we get this to melt a little bit, then we're going to add our mixture here. And this is, we just want this to soak up some of the excess butter. It will also flavor the butter with the pepperoni. Like I said, the pepperoni has its own oil. So we're going to leave this in here until it starts sizzling. I'll let that warm and just sizzle a little bit there. You can see as it simmers in here, what's happening is we're getting the oils from the pepperoni mixing with the peppers and the garlic, the paprika, the basil, and the butter. So what we're doing is gleaming the oil from all of that. And as you can see here, it's going to give it a unique oil. After that's done, and it looks like we have a lot of oil pressed out of the pepperoni, we're going to remove this from the skillet and add our ramen. Okay, this is about the time that your neighbors or your roommates or something, they'll think you're holding out on them. They'll say, well, what's that wonderful smell? What are you cooking? You say, I'm just eating ramen. They won't believe you. So when that leftover grease is just popping like that, very nice, then we're going to add in our ramen very slowly. Might want to open that door for a minute. And as you can see now, as it's done, we turn the heat down to low at this point. And this is the ramen mixture we made. It fluffs up in those juices that we put there. As you see, it smells fantastic. Now we add the pepperoni back to it again, our mixture. Mix that. It's starting to look good, isn't it? Mix that up real good in there. And remember when we said that we're going to use some tomato paste or spaghetti sauce? It's whatever you have. Ketchup, well, I don't really care for it, but you know, one time I was making this and that's all I had, so I ran in and got some ketchup packets, and it got me through 2 days of school. So now that we have this, as you can see here, now we'll take our tomato sauce, just a little. This is why I kind of like to save some leftovers, so we'll just put a little bit of this sauce on there, not too much. Like I said, just a little bit. And work that together with it. Just like that. And then we're gonna add a lid and on warm for a few minutes, and then it's ready to go. It's good by itself, or you can use it with something else. And there we have it. A little bit of work, some great ingredients, not that hard, very filling, lasts for a long time. The only bad thing is it makes a little mess and you have to clean up. And please, if you're going to do anything like this, please clean up, because ramen can be very dangerous sometimes. There's other ways to do it too. Oh yeah, hey, if you have someone around that can help you, that's good. Hey, Ann, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Are you? I'll tell you what, I'll trade you this wonderful WIZPOW ramen if you wash dishes.
Okay.
Yay! And that's WIZPOW ramen. There you go. See? What do you think? WIZPOW ramen.
I love it.
Isn't it good?
If that's a WIZPOW ramen, that's a ramen.
It smells good. That's ramen. Yeah.
Looks like it's like not really ramen. I thought it was something else. That's
Smells
very
good.
good. Smells good.
Yeah. Good deal, huh?
What deal?
You know, I made the ramen and you're gonna wash the dishes.
No way.
What are you talking about? That's what you said. It's only a saucepan and a skillet. It's not that much a cutting board. I made the ramen, you wash the dishes. No?
No,
Why
wash
not?
the dishes. I like to finish this first, and we'll see.
But that's worth it. That's worth it for sure, right? I mean,
no, it's not worth it to
Why
wash
not?
dishes.
I
It's
can't
so
trade
good.
ramen for work, huh?
No.